Hello, everybody. This is Julissa. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's listening right now in the podcast. It is Thursday, October 24th, 2024. I wanted to come here and speak about this, everyone, because it's a very important subject that we should be paying attention, specifically when we just learn about the plan that Mr. Elon Musk has with the robots that are coming out beginning of next year, right? Which is around the corner, basically. But before I continue, everybody, I want to say thank you so much to everybody who's watching this video on YouTube, and thank you, of course, to everybody who's listening in the podcast. So I'm going to tell you guys, let me give you a trigger warning. The topic about this is about somebody who basically took their own life, so just very sensitive. This topic is very sensitive, so I just want to give you a trigger warning. But here's an alarming situation when it comes about technology, right? And like I told you guys in my previous video regarding the robots and the plan that Elon Musk is basically planning with rolling out all these robots that are going to be for sale for you to purchase for like $30,000, I believe. And he said basically they're going to do so many jobs around the house, even babysit your kids. And I remember making that video to you guys and telling you, not only that I like technology a lot, but there is a fine line. We need to always remember, as this rollout of technology gets so advanced, we need to remember God created the earth for us, right? So are we going to be a slave now to the robots? Is that the main goal, right? But let me tell you what it is. There is a mother out of Florida who just filed a lawsuit this week with a big tech company, right? Because apparently, I'm going to give you more details, but apparently, one of her sons was having like a relationship with this AI, computerized, I guess you can say, type of robot that uses a chatbots whom you can communicate with, right? And this relationship led to her son eventually, like I said, sensitive subject here, eventually take his own life, right? So the mom filed a lawsuit against this huge tech giant. And this is something that we need to keep in mind. It's very alarming, okay? We need to keep in mind as we see in the next couple months technology being rolled out, and this huge thing about the robots, ChatGPT, everything that's being rolled out, right? We like it, and it's fine to like it up to a point, right? When you see how much technology is affecting us as humans, that's when we need to pay attention and say, okay, that shouldn't happen, right? When they're saying these robots that are going to be rolling out beginning of this year, coming up 25, they're going to replace like a lot of jobs, right? They're going to babysit your kids. You can have them at home for like safety and things like that. Let us never forget that these are machines, okay? And it's just very kind of like, I told you guys, I'm all for learning new things, technology, computers, all of that stuff. But learning about how advanced everything is getting is a little like, do we really think God is just gonna let Elon Musk take over like that, right? God created this earth for us, okay? He said, go and multiply. So we need to pay attention to stuff like this. Let me read to you guys what happened with the mom who filed the lawsuit, okay? Megan Garcia is the mother, that's her name. Megan Garcia filed the civil lawsuit in the Florida Federal Court against Carotech Technology Inc. Is also called Character AI, after her son, and his name was Sewell Setzer III, took his own life, I guess you can say, with his stepfather's pistol on February 28, early this year, right? On February 28, he did that, and it says here the teenager took I don't want to. I want to be sensitive to the words that I use here, but um he committed that act moments after he logged onto the character AI on his phone, according to the wrongful death complaint obtained by the authorities. Okay, Megan Garcia is the mother, and she seeks to prevent this company from doing to any other child what it did to hers, and hold continued use of her 14-year-old child's unlawful harvested data to train their product how to harm others. Okay, so the mom is basically saying, my son, left this earth early this year, and this company is still using his data, the information, right? Because you have to remember, everything that you search on the internet is being tracked, it's being saved. Okay, and I had come here and talked to you guys about missing people and all of that stuff, and I always say, whoever is the person of interest in the missing case, you have to always look at what are they searching on the internet, because nobody, like, it's very rare to see somebody planning to do something without actually searching about it, right? So search records gives you a lot of information about what's going on somebody's mind these days, right? So the mom is basically saying, this company basically let my son to commit that act, and not only that, but they still using his data, right, his information, to basically update and upgrade their app, or their technology, right? Because that's the thing, like, we need to pay attention. All of this social media, or everything that we use on a daily basis, they're learning what we like and what we don't like. How it's like when people get all surprised these days when you go to like a store, right? Let's just say you go to like a big department store. You walk around, you don't find anything you like, and you leave the store. You get home, you open your email, and then there's an ad for the same thing that you were thinking about when you were at the store. It's learning behaviors. They have cameras, um they have so many tracking data, right? When I used to work retails many years ago, I remember I used to work in this retail. This is like early 2000s, I guess you can say. Even so, then I remember I noticed one of my coworkers kind of like when she was about to leave, she would like bend down a little bit and exit that way. And I said, well, what are you doing? That is so weird. What are you doing? And she said, well, I don't want to trigger the count. There's a sensor in the door, right? And mind you, there was no like visible monitoring, nothing like that. Nothing was visible, right? That's why I thought it was very weird for her to do that. And she said, well, I don't want to trigger the people count sensor that we have installed in the door. And she said, every time you leave, you make sure you do the same, right? Because it's counting how many customers come in and how many are buying something. And I was like, that is so weird, right? But you have to understand, you guys, that was early in 2000, right? Early 2000. You have to understand that all of this technology, every searches that we do is learning what we do, right? It's learning what we're looking for. That's why even like before you go into like some of this app, you might be watching a movie, right, on your home TV, right? And you open your app, and then or there's like a pop-up video about somebody giving a review about the same movie that you just watched. And you're like, that is so weird. Are they tracking what we're thinking too? I'm sure they are. Okay, I think we all noticed that already. It's not that hard to notice. The tragic thing about this child who took his own life, and the mom now suing the company, is saying that we know, guys, there's a big epidemic of loneliness in this world. So that is the dangers to bring out machines, right? It's so crazy. You know what movie just came to my head? Castaway, right? Castaway, the movie with Tom Hanks, and he was stranded in the island after the airplane crash. He had this the basketball, right, or volleyball, right? He was talking. He made it seem like he was a person that he was talking to. that's basically what we're kind of like being entering to these days. There's an epidemic of loneliness these days, and people are going to other means to find some type of companionship, right? This is why Elon Musk is seeing an opportunity bringing out these robots, right? If you have a elderly parent or even your grandpa or grandma or grandpa, you're like, oh, I don't have to be there for Thanksgiving. I'll just, I'll buy this robot and can be the companion. It's like, this is what, that is what is alarming, looking at it in my opinion. Okay, this child was having a relationship, quote unquote, with this made up character made by AI. And the mom is saying after he logged into that app that same day on February 28th of this year, moments after that, he just went off and committed, what he did. He did all of that. So something must have been said there, right? And this is what is so alarming. And this is why a lot of the social media apps are hard for the youth. People will never post that they're dealing with like something horrible. They're gonna put happy photos. They're gonna make it seem like their life is perfect. So when somebody's looking at that and saying, "Oh wow, she has the perfect life. What have I done this week?" And then they'll start comparing, and comparison is gonna steal your joy immediately. And there are people who are even being paid just to upload on their social media. But the average person doesn't know that. They don't think like that. They're like, oh my goodness, she's rich. She has a lot of money. Look at that. Right? She gets to travel. She gets to do all this stuff. So there is a lot of danger when it comes to all of this technology. It's good, but it's good, but up to a point. And I feel like if we let it loose, meaning like if we let it loose and we give it like the free the free entry, right, to take over basically the jobs and like loneliness and all of that stuff. That's like we all need to be careful about that, okay? We need to pay attention of how much is consuming us. We need to always pay attention about that too. Let me see if I can get more information about this case. Again, his name was Sewell Setzer. I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing the name, but it says here that the Garcia, the mom, is saying she's also suing to hold character AI responsible for the failure to provide adequate warnings to minor customers and parents of the foreseeable danger of the mental and physical harms arising from the use of their product. According to the complaint, it says here, the lawsuit alleges that character AI age rating was not changed to 17 plus until sometime in around July of this year, months after her son began to use the platform. I guess months after began to use the platform. It says here, we are heartbroken by the tragic loss of one of our users and want to express our deepest condolences to the family. A spokesperson for the company wrote, and this is what they're basically saying, it's kind of unexpected, and this is what I'm coming from. Every time, like the robots is a new thing, right? Years ago we would have spoke about this and we would have been like, that's never gonna happen. The flying cars and all of that, right? By the year 2000, we could have been like, oh yeah, that's never gonna happen. This and the other. They're gonna roll it out because there's a huge demand. Everybody wants to see a robot and and post photos and like, look what it's doing, this and the other. But it's a machine that doesn't have the human empathy, right? That can make error and can say the wrong things and not not have the ability to say, something is odd. Like, I didn't like how this person expressing herself about her, the things that she's saying about herself, right? So that could be a trigger warning. I mean, that could be a warning to send out to somebody to come and help her or something like that. That's the danger of all of this technology, right? You need to also understand that a lot of these big tech companies, they really, I'm not saying this one in particular, but a lot of them, they really don't care. It's a business, okay? It is a business. Look at, I don't want to mention all this social media. Have you noticed that so many influencers are losing their life? And not by them taking action, but by weird things that are happening to them, okay? About a month ago, I came here and told you guys about Irina. I guess her name was Irina or something like that. Irina, she's the one who was doing a video for social media, and she was dancing and singing, and she didn't realize she was approaching the entrance of a train station, and she actually fell and lost her life, right? There's so many things that are consuming all of us at any age, right? That we need to start paying attention to this, right? And it's so sad that this family had to go through something like this, right? This character AI, I didn't know anything about it. You know, but when I heard this story, character AI, immediately I was like, okay, so he was having this relationship with this made up character, meaning like it's a computerized, right? Character. And I remember, what it brought me to? It brought me to the memories of once again, I'm referring to early 2000s when you would have like chat rooms and things like that, and you would just communicate with people that you probably never met, but there were actually people behind it. They were not really like computer things, right? They were not made up stuff. So it's almost like they're taking that happened when the first internet like boom, I guess you can say, when people started using like MySpace and all of that stuff, and there was a lot of chat rooms and all of that. They're using that instead of replacing but now replacing the chat room users, they're actually computer generated characters that people think is actually a human behind that character talking to you. And that is so dangerous, right? Because when you have something like that, they, they don't go beyond the human empathy. They don't have human empathy, right? So this is why the mom is saying, how come there was no warnings and things like that could have alerted her that something was going on? And, they have all the data. They have the conversations that he had. They know the questions and answers that he got, right? So it's almost like I'm kind of happy in that way that the mom is taking action because, it happened to her son. How many other young people are, just like having this relationship with this computer made character that are fictional? And it's kind of like, you think about it, it's kind of like scary. You see people everywhere. You see people everywhere just looking down on their phones. Everybody's talking, and then it's almost like a real life. It's real life, right? They're walking down the street, real life, but they're answering back and forth to a made up character. It's a computer made character that's not real. And now they're thinking of bringing out these robots. Like, people are going to be talking to themselves in their houses, to these machines. Like, how far is this going to be allowed to get, right? And I know the robots have not been rolled out yet, but even so, I still feel this kind of like concern about it, because I know how much people want it. Like, they're going to roll it out to people with, rich people and all of that. And then they're going to see the popularity of it, and they're going to be like, hey, why don't you do Afterpay with these robots, right? Everybody will have access to it. Like, I can already see Elon Musk saying things like, I want everybody to experience this. Like that is so crazy to me, you guys. It's so crazy. It's almost like you want to say, God have mercy. And God, God protect us from everything that's being planned for this society. God created the earth and He said, go and multiply for us. Okay? Everybody's like, yeah, bring out the robots. I want them to do my job. Like, if they replace jobs, it's gonna create a chain reaction, and you're like, well, I'm not a cashier, so it doesn't affect me. It starts there. They're gonna see how good they are at being cashiers, and they're gonna see how good they are at being teachers, right? And how good they might be about being like, servants at restaurants and all of that stuff, and cooks. And then you're like, oh, it's affecting every industry. What do we do now, right? So that's why you have to be careful and just pray about things, right? And see, I'm always like, when I pray, I always say, let your will be done, the Lord, right? Like the Bible said, here on earth and in heaven, let your will be done. So we just gotta pray and see. But I am kind of happy that this mom is taking action about, doing this lawsuit, because something needs to be changed, right? She's preventing other people to suffer from something like this. Let me know, guys, what you guys think about all of this and this rollout of new technology coming soon. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.